Question 136. If the value of the land is $350,000, the cost of building a home on the land is $300,000, and the accrued depreciation is $45,000. How much is the property worth using the cost approach to appraising? A. $500,000. B. $45,000. C. $605,000. D. $5,000. Correct answer is C. $605,000. Here's how to calculate it using the cost approach. Land value plus replacement cost. Accrued depreciation = property value. Land value $350,000. Replacement cost, building cost $300,000. Accrued depreciation $45,000. Calculation: $350,000 plus $300,000, $45,000 = $605,000. In real estate appraisal, accrued depreciation refers to the total loss in value of a property's improvements, like buildings, from the time they were built until the date of the appraisal. It represents the difference between the cost of replacing the improvements new and their current worth. Accrued depreciation is a key factor in the cost approach to appraisal. Appraisers estimate the cost of replacing the improvements new and then subtract the accrued depreciation to arrive at the current value of those improvements. Essentially, accrued depreciation helps appraisers determine how much a building has lost in value due to age, wear, and other factors. Question 137. A purchaser using a Calvet loan finances the transaction with an A. Trust deed, B. Mortgage, C. Contract of sale, D. Option lease. Correct answer is C. Contract of sale. Calvet loans, California Veterans Farm and Home Purchase Program, are unique in that they use a contract of sale, also known as a land contract or installment contract, rather than a traditional mortgage or trust deed. Under a Calvet contract of sale, the California Department of Veterans Affairs purchases the property. The veteran makes payments to Calvet. Calvet holds legal title to the property until the loan is paid off. The veteran holds equitable title and possesses the property. Question 138. Real estate loans are mainly funded by the secondary market, B. Mutual funds, C. Federal programs, D. Bank deposits. Correct answer is D. Bank deposits. The secondary market plays a crucial role in buying and selling existing mortgages, providing liquidity to lenders. However, it's not the primary source of the initial funding for the loans themselves. While mutual funds may invest in mortgage-backed securities, they are not the main source of direct real estate loan funding. While federal programs like FHA and VA guarantee or insure certain loans, they don't directly fund the majority of real estate loans. They encourage lending by reducing risk for the primary lenders. Bank deposits. Commercial banks, savings and loan associations, and credit unions primarily use funds deposited by their customers to make real estate loans. This is the traditional and most common source of funding for these loans. Question 139. A deposit receipt includes the following: A. Executory clause, B. Acceleration clause, C. Release clause, D. Due on sale clause. Correct answer is A. Executory clause. B. Acceleration clause is a provision in a mortgage or loan agreement that allows the lender to demand immediate payment of the entire loan balance if the borrower defaults. C. Release clause is a provision in a mortgage that allows for the release of a portion of the property from the mortgage lien when a certain amount of the loan is paid off. D. Due on sale clause is a provision in a mortgage that allows the lender to demand immediate payment of the entire loan balance if the property is sold or transferred. These clauses are found in mortgage or deed of trust documents, not typically in a deposit receipt. Deposit receipt is a document used in real estate transactions that acknowledges receipt of a deposit and outlines the basic terms of the sale. It's a preliminary agreement that leads to the more formal purchase agreement. A contract is considered executory when one or both parties have not yet completed their obligations. A deposit receipt is an executory contract, A, because it outlines the actions that both the buyer and seller need to take to complete the sale. Question 140. The following is true for brokers holding net listings except A. Other brokers cannot sell the listing. B. The seller receives a predetermined amount from any sale of the listed property, while the broker gets the excess. C. The broker has the right to purchase the listed property. D. Both A and C. Correct answer is C. The broker has the right to purchase the listed property. A net listing is an agreement where the seller specifies a net amount they want to receive from the sale of their property, and the broker keeps any amount exceeding that net amount as their commission. Net listings create a potential conflict of interest because the broker's commission is directly tied to the selling price. This can incentivize the broker to prioritize their own financial gain over the seller's best interests. One of the ways this conflict can manifest is if the broker decides to purchase the property themselves. This allows them to potentially profit from any increase in value after the purchase. Because of these potential conflicts, net listings are often subject to strict disclosure requirements. State law requires that within 1 month of the closing of a net listing transaction, the broker must disclose the actual selling price in writing to both the seller and the buyer. Therefore, the statement that is not true about brokers holding net listings is that the broker has the right to purchase the listed property, or more accurately, that this is a conflict of interest that is heavily regulated. Question 141. Which of the following does not terminate an agency? A. Termination date is reached. B. Full performance. C. Death of the listing agent, not broker. D. Destruction of listed property. Correct answer is C. Death of the listing agent, not broker. When the agreed-upon term of the agency agreement expires, the agency is terminated. Once the agent has successfully completed the task they were hired for, e.g., selling the property, the agency terminates. If the property is destroyed, e.g., by fire or natural disaster, the agency is terminated because the subject of the agency no longer exists. If the listing agent dies, the agency relationship does not automatically terminate. The agency relationship is between the seller, principal, and the broker. So long as the broker is still alive, the agency agreement is still in place. Another agent from within the brokerage would pick up that agency agreement. Question 142. An easement which terminates from non-use would most likely be established by obtaining A. Easement by prescription, B. Bequest in a will, C. Estoppel, D. Grant deed. Correct answer is A. Easement by prescription. Correct answer is A. Easement by prescription. An easement created by a will is a specific grant and wouldn't typically terminate from non-use alone. Estoppel involves preventing someone from going back on their word or actions. While it can affect easements, it's not the primary way an easement terminates due to non-use. A grant deed conveys a specific interest in real property. It does not automatically end due to non-use. Easement by prescription is created through open, notorious, continuous, and hostile use of another's land for a statutory period. Just as it can be created through use, it can also be terminated through non-use combined with other factors, such as the landowner blocking the use. If the use that established the prescriptive easement ceases for the statutory period, the easement can be terminated. Question 143. Alan has taken on the appearance of acting for Paul, even though Paul never actually hired Alan, so that anyone dealing with Alan would reasonably believe that Alan was Paul's agent. Alan has actual agency, B. Ostensible agency, C. Power of attorney, D. Agency, in fact. Correct answer is B. Ostensible agency. An actual agency or agency in fact requires an actual agreement, express or implied, between the principal and agent. The agent has explicit authority to act for the principal. Power of attorney is a legal document giving someone the authority to act on another's behalf. It's a specific form of actual agency. Ostensible agency, or apparent authority. This occurs when a principal, Paul, leads a third party to believe that another person, Alan, is their agent, even if there is no actual agency agreement. The principal's actions or inactions create the appearance of an agency relationship. Another example of an ostensible agency. In the presence of a tenant, an owner of an apartment building tells his property manager that "you are in charge," while the owner goes on vacation. The tenant then attempts to negotiate new lease terms with the property manager, believing the manager has an ostensible agency to agree to a new deal.
Question 144. The Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act, FIRPTA, requires a buyer who is purchasing a property sold by a foreigner to withhold 10% of the transaction's value for the payment of taxes. California law requires an additional withholding amount of blank. A0, O1, B, 3.3%, C, 0, 1, D. A state cannot enforce its own tax withholding law. Correct answer is B, 3.3%. The FIRPTA federal law mandates a 10% withholding to ensure that foreign sellers pay U.S. capital gains taxes. California also requires a state withholding, which is currently 3.3% of the sales price. This is done to ensure that the state of California also receives any taxes due on the sale.
Question 145. Time is of the essence is wording most likely to be found in A, purchase agreement, B, listing agreement, C, gift deed, D, option agreement. Correct answer is A, purchase agreement. Listing agreement exists deadlines, but they are not usually as strictly enforced as in purchase agreements. Gift deeds are used to transfer property as a gift. They are not typically subject to strict deadlines. While option agreements have deadlines, purchase agreements have many more deadlines that need to be met. Purchase agreements often contain numerous deadlines for things like inspections, financing, and closing. These deadlines are critical to the transaction, so time is of the essence clauses are common. Time is of the essence is a legal phrase that emphasizes that strict adherence to the stated deadlines in a contract is crucial. It means that failure to meet those deadlines can be considered a breach of contract.